Pause.
What's up, guys? I'm so excited that you are here. I'm so grateful to see all of these incredible faces. We have such an incredible call set for you guys tonight. I literally have the privilege and honor of hanging out with some of my best friends on this call, and people who have been there with me through the trenches, that have been there and done some serious work. Give me a second. I'm super distractible. And there's somebody unmuted. Mute yourself, friends. We've gone through Zoom for so long. I love y'all, but let's figure it out. Okay, sweet. Okay. That's like my girl Tori hit a reel and she was like talking about, because she's a social worker, and she was talking about how parents can't figure out how to turn the mic on and do all of the things. So I just was like, we're just going to figure it out. We're going to figure it out. Anyway, like I was saying, I have an amazing honor of being on a call with the best of the best in my book. I met these beautiful ladies in various times in my life, and all in times that I needed more than they would ever know. They have all kind of been a rock beside me in one way or another. And I'm just so honored that all of them said yes to come together tonight and be like, yeah, let's speak. Let's get all of our teams together and let's truly just uplift and encourage each other. So first and foremost, I'm going to kind of introduce them, and then I'm just going to put their butts on a hot seat. We're going to ask questions. We're going to dive in. We're going to level up. We're going to grow. And we're just going to continue to just expand our minds, our heart, and our soul. So first up, Miss Cassidy Brewer. She has been a coach for 4 years. She is the founder of Hustle and Heart, a lifetime 5-star diamond. She is a 1-star in her second CBC and a diamond coach in her controlled account. Let's give some kudos, shout outs to Cassidy, who's rocking it in the house. Next up, we have Marie. Like my guru, my soul sister, my woo. She's like the yin and yang for me. She has been a coach for 6 years. Her 6-year coaching anniversary is coming up on the 6th of this next month, which is crazy to even say. So she's been a coach for 6 years. She is the founder of Boomerang Wellness, and she is a 7-star diamond coach. So shout outs, kudos for Marie. I'm so excited to see her. I can't wait for you guys to pour into you. There has got to be a way that I can figure out how to mute all when people get on. I'm going to figure it out eventually. But super excited that Marie's here. Next up, we have my girl AMQ, Amanda Marie. I don't ever call her that. I just call her AMQ. She has been my soul sister from another mister, my 8, my hardcore ride or die over the last year. And I'm just super grateful that she is here. She's been a coach for 5 freaking years. She is the founder of Good Vibe Wellness, and she is a 6-star diamond coach. So shout out, kudos for her. I can't wait for you to hear the bombs dropped. Plus, all of you qualifying for NLC this year, she's one of your speakers. She's going to give you gold. I'm super excited and super jealous because the thing that came in the box, like, you guys looked amazing. Like, totally. And NLC again, because it was definitely a incredible event for me. And that leads me to my last introduction. Brittany Hilko has my heart in more ways than one. She was with me when I took my pregnant self to NLC, and I did not want to be there, nor did I believe that I was worthy of being there. And I saw this woman stand on stage and just lit me up inside and out. She sat down with me probably an hour after she was done speaking, and we were just talking as friends, and she reminded me exactly who I was. And I will always remember that conversation. It's near and dear to my heart. But Brittany has been a coach for 4 years. She is the founder of Girly Gains Nation, and she is a 2-time elite top Canadian coach, which all of them are because they're just badass. And she's a 5-star diamond coach. So shout outs, kudos for her. I'm super excited that you guys are all here. And I just looked down and noticed that there are 75 people, 74 people on this call, which just brings me so much joy, so much life, so much love. But respecting all of their times, what we're going to do, and I'm going to write this down for myself. So we are going to go in that same order. So it's going to be Cassidy, Marie, AMQ, Britt, and then me. And we're going to answer some hot seat questions to give you guys the best of us, to give you guys a wealth of knowledge, to be able to implement right away, to know how to, if Elite is on your radar, Premier is on your radar, leveling up your business is on the radar, how we decided to do it this past year. So one really amazing thing is all of us have hit the incredible recognition of being an elite coach. All of us know what it means to be in the trenches. All of us knows what it means to be a 5-star and above leader and coach. So we want to give you the best of the best for us. So first up, Cassidy, I'm dropping hot seat questions on you. How did you come to be a part of Beachbody? I want them to get to know you. So tell us a little bit about how you came to be.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's funny because my story is pretty different than most people's. I actually was never invited to this, but I was in college. I was in my senior year of college, and I had been an athlete all my life. So growing up, I was always in sports. I played college sports. I played 2 different college sports. And my senior year of college, I had stopped playing sports by that point, and I really was burnt out of working out, and I stopped working out for an entire year because I just was like, I'm done. This feels like a job. I don't enjoy it anymore. Like, I just need a break. So I stopped working out, and I was still eating like I was an athlete, which wasn't working out very well for me. And I put on a bunch of weight, and I just really started to feel not good about myself. I wasn't loving myself. My clothes didn't fit. I looked in the mirror and cried so many mornings. I was not a good partner in my relationship because I had no confidence in myself. It was just not good. And so I finally got to the point where I was like, all right, I looked in the mirror and I was like, you're a freaking college athlete. Like, how did you get here? What are you doing? And I was like, something has to change. So I started going to the gym again, started doing all these different diets and things, just trying to lose the weight because I thought that was the answer. If I just got skinny, I'd be happy. And I eventually got to the point where I'd lost most of the weight, and I was kind of at a plateau. And I was going to the gym. I was doing these random workout videos and like finding ones on Instagram and YouTube and like searching Victoria's Secret model workouts, like just stupid stuff, just trying anything I could. And I got to the point where I had lost most of the weight, but I kind of hit a plateau. And that's when I was in a Facebook group, this like fitness group for some other program, some free 15-day challenge that I did. And I saw my coach in there. She wasn't posting anything about this group or Beachbody. She just shared her transformation, and it was insane. And she had like 6-pack abs, this little fiery redhead ginger that I was like, who is this girl? She has the abs I want, whatever she's doing, like, I need to know. So I saw her transformation, and she posted this post with it. It was just inspiring. So I kind of started creeping on her. And then she posted again and said, hey, I'll share my meal plan for you guys for free if you want it. Just drop like an emoji or something. So I was like, hell yeah, I'm a broke college student, like anything free, give it to me. So I got her free meal plan, and it was like an Excel sheet with all these random colors on it. It was like red, green, blue, purple. And I was like, what the heck is this? And I was like, what is this meal plan? And she's like, oh, and we were talking about competing at the time because she was looking at doing a fitness competition. And at that time, I was actually thinking about doing one. And so we were kind of talking back and forth about fitness competitions. Then I asked her about her meal plan. She told me, oh, it's just like portions. And then she said, I was like, so what are you doing? Because like your abs are what I want. And she's like, I work out like 30 minutes from home. I do home workouts. And I was like, okay, there's no way like you look like that from 30 minutes at home. Like, I've been at the gym for hours. Like, what's going on? So we kept talking, and I just kept watching her. She never invited me ever, like literally never invited me, but we kept connecting, and I kept following her, and I kept seeing her post. So I kept seeing her show up and share her story over and over and over. So even though she never mentioned anything to me about becoming a coach or why she thought I'd be great or anything, I was watching her, and I saw her sharing her story of her being in so much financial student loan debt and in such a financial struggle growing up, like not having a lot and wanting such a different future for her family someday, and how this business was giving her that. She talked about like she wasn't there yet. She didn't have kids yet. Now she has miracle IVF babies thanks to this business that she would not have had without it. So she didn't have that yet. I got to see it all happen, but I saw this woman that was glowing. I saw this woman that was so happy and so fulfilled and that was dreaming so big. And I was like, dang, like whatever she's doing, I want to do it because she looks so happy. That's what I want. I don't have passion and purpose in what I'm doing right now. I'm not enjoying my workouts. She clearly is. She has abs. I don't. Like whatever she's doing, I need to get on this. So I ended up, she posted something about coaching, like drop your email for this webinar. And I did. And then I filled out some form, never did anything with it. And then she never followed up, but she posted it again. And then she sent me the video again. And it was like an hour long. And I was like, yo, girlfriend, I work 3 jobs, go to school full time. Like, there's no way I'm watching this hour-long video. You're joking. So I was literally laying in a tanning bed for 20 minutes. I had the timer on and I like watched I didn't watch it. I listened to the first 20 minutes and that was enough. I was like, I was in the place where I was like, I don't care what it takes. Like, I just need something different. I need to be happy. I'm not happy. So I told her like, I'm doing this. She didn't think I was going to do anything with it. She's like, oh, this young, like 20-year-old girl, whatever. So I was asking her all these questions and I could tell she was so annoyed. She was like, oh my gosh, this is just going to be one of those annoying girls that asks all these questions, doesn't do anything. And so I just dove right into everything. Like I started my program before it even came. That was back when we had the DVDs, got my challenge pack, and I had already was a week into it. I was like, I feel so good. I was like on top of the world. I was like, whatever I'm doing, everybody needs to do it because everybody needs to feel as good as I feel. And I loved the community because I was like missing being a part of a team again. So I found that again. It just was like all the things that were missing in my life. And I started sharing my journey and people started asking me like, what are you doing? Life, like this is going to happen. And I didn't really know what to expect in the beginning. I was just doing it because I felt so good and I wanted to pay it forward. But I didn't ever think that this could be like what it has become for me now. I just wanted to earn a couple extra $100 a month, pay for my supplements, and get my nails done. Because I was like, I can't even afford to get my nails done. That's like an extra thing I cannot pay for. So I wanted to pay the bills, get that. And then pretty soon things just started to grow because I was so focused on myself and my journey that it was just pouring over into everybody that I talked to. That it was the same thing with her. Like everything, I felt so good that I was on such a high that people were just like, whatever you're doing, I need to be doing it. And so I did that and then dove in and just kept going and my business kept growing and growing. And then now here I am 4 years later doing this full time, work from home at 25, just turned 26 years old. It's just crazy. So
that is amazing. There's so many nuggets. I'm over here like writing it down, like 26 years old, retired herself essentially, is working from home, doing all the things. And that is just amazing. And it's funny because as Cassidy was saying, like, she didn't even watch the whole video. And I saw Artina drop in the chat, like, girl, that was way too long. I didn't watch the full video either. It's just super amazing to see how people come in. And yeah, that's such a powerful story. So Marie, take it away and tell us what brought you to Beachbody.
Well, I'm so pumped that Ginny is on the call. I know that she's moving today, so that's amazing to see her name because I came into this business because Miss Virginia Scroggins showed up every single day. I'll take you back 6 years. February 4th, 2015 is when I signed up, which is crazy. So next week will officially be 6 years. And I also have to apologize. I'm kind of sick right now, you guys. So if I just take a sec to breathe, it's okay. I'm fine. So 6 years ago, February, oh my God, I was I was in a much different place than I am now. I was a much different person. than I am now. Oh my gosh, I'm trying not to get emotional talking about this. I was just finishing up my 6th year of university. I was just finishing up my College of Education degree and stepping into the world of teaching. And I'd never been more depressed and unhappy in my whole life. I had a lot of unhealed trauma that I didn't want to deal with. And so I sought out vices like wine and, workaholism and that kind of thing to distract myself from all my stuff. And I just remember being so sick and tired of feeling so sick and tired. And little did I know at the time that I had a lot of undiagnosed stuff, like health stuff going on. I had undiagnosed PCOS and I was dealing with PTSD and like a lot of other stuff, adrenal fatigue. And as a 23-year-old, that's a really heavy plate, and trying to navigate the medical system was intense. And so I tried everything. I tried this self-advocacy route. And I remember just being so sick and tired of feeling so sick and tired. And I laid on our bed one night to Brandon in our shitty little apartment. We had this like shitty little apartment. We lived beside, like the people beside us were drug dealers. We had this like Indian family across the hallway where the mama would like come and like spy on us and like would shake her fist at me because we weren't married and living together. Like it was just, we had 2 ant colonies in our, like, just let me paint a picture for you. It was so bad. And I remember laying on the bed that night and I was like, Bran, I don't know what it is, but I need something different. I cannot be a teacher. If I become a teacher full time and I do this for the rest of my life, I will drink myself to death. Like I don't know. I have no limit of what I can give and I have nothing left to give, And then I saw this post on social media, which I like never went on social media, but I remember getting home from teaching one day and I see this post. It's around December, later December, and it's just this beautiful blonde chick with these freaking guns, man. She was just shredded. And I was like, what? Like, is that Virginia, who I used to play team task volleyball with when we were in high school? Are you kidding me? Like, we had the exact same body type growing up playing competitive volleyball. Like, what is she doing? Because whatever it is working. And so I reached out, I messaged her, and I just basically said that. I said, I'm so inspired. You look healthy. You look happy. You are glowing. I think she just posted Merry Fitness. I think that's all it was. It was just like, Merry Fitness. Here's my guns, basically. And so I messaged her and I was like, damn, like you look healthy, happy, and fit. I am none of those things right now. I'm struggling. I am going to gym classes. I am starving myself. I'm trying to freaking hate myself skinny. I am depressed. I am taking PGX diet pills. I'm not eating. I have hypoglycemia. Like it was a lot. It was a lot of things. What are you doing? And she was like, oh, I've been Beachbody coaching for the last year and I'm doing this at home fitness program called 21 Day Fix. We actually have another group starting up, a Facebook group where we're all going to do these at-home workout DVDs together and drink this vegan chocolate supplement. It's called Shakeology. I was like, cool. Broke was a student joke. Let me look into this. I also have 17,000 dietary restrictions. So let me just do some research real quick here and then I'll get back to you. And so I went and did my research. I scoured the internet. And like I mentioned before, like I'd been through the ringer with the medical system. So I knew what to look for in ingredients and sourcing and that kind of thing. And I was like, fuck, what is this Shakeology supplement? This is incredible. This looks incredible. I had taken and done everything. I used to supplement with many of the herbs that are found in Shakeology. And so I got back to her and I was like, listen, I don't really have the money right now, but I am sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I'm ready to just see if this could be the thing. So let's do it. I'll put it on my visa. I'm pretty sure I maxed out my visa, putting that $200 DVD program on my visa. And I started with the 21 Day Fix. I was so committed, you guys. I printed out my calendar. I ditched wine for all 3 weeks of that first program. I limited my carbohydrates, which I wouldn't now advocate for, but I did the things. I was like, I am a student of this. I need help. I really needed help. And it was like clockwork. It was like 7 days later, I think. And I knew that I wanted to do this. I got chills right now. I knew I wanted to pay it forward. I knew there's something special to this. I was like, this is so much more than a workout program. This is so much more than a dietary supplement. This is fucking hope. This is hope for somebody who doesn't have it. This is a new life. This is a light that I hadn't felt in myself in in years. Here was this platform that I saw myself continuing teaching in a different capacity, something that I was so passionate about, living a well life, living in an abundant life in all aspects of the word. And so I signed up as a coach, and I think I hit something like Success Club 26 in my first month or something. And I just remember Ginny being like, "You're a beast." And I was like, "I don't know what that means, but cool, I'm going to keep doing this." And that was 6 years ago, you guys. That was 6 years ago. And I'm here today, and my business has evolved and grown as I have over the seasons. And I'm a completely different person than I was 6 years ago. But frick, am I so grateful for that broken woman who was courageous enough to put that $200 pack on her card.
Gosh. Marie. Like I said, she's the yin to my yang. And if I would say 3-4 years ago now, it's probably been that I've met her, and completely different. I'm going to try to not get emotional. Completely different human, in her health, in her journey, in her happiness. And I'm just so proud of you. Yeah. My girl Britt, you are up, my lady. She's rocking a pink cast in the house and everything. Go for it, sis.
You guys are struggling so hard with my chair right there. Holy smokers. I was like, come on, figure out how to move. Anyways, once again, I'm so glad Jen is on here. She's also my upline coach. And it's crazy to hear everybody's stories who I've worked with so closely over the last 4 or 5 years. And once again, seeing and how much all of us have evolved over the last few years and even the last year is so powerful. It's crazy to think. And yesterday I was laughing because I was trying to do a what is coaching call, and I was trying to think of what's the story? What's the power in the story? And I realized that coaching has had so many chapters since I started that there's so many different nuggets that have changed my life. But before I started, I was the girl who actually started the hashtag Beachbody hater hashtag. Yep, that's me. 2-time elite coach, Beachbody hater. Hello. So I was a kinesiologist, going to school studying basically to be an unreal personal trainer. And there was all these Beachbody girls sending me messages, "Girl, you would be amazing." And at that point I had gained weight during university. I was in that horrible mental state, struggling with anxiety and depression and just at war with myself in the mirror. And there was of course all these girls messaging me. They'd be like, "You love fitness, you'd be a great coach." And I literally politely told them to F off, blocked all of them, and told them exactly where to go. So never, ever, ever feel bad when somebody tells you to F off and where to go, because they might be one of your next top coaches. So give them time. Don't worry. You be consistent in your journey. And that was the thing, is I was silently stalking Virginia. And just like Marie, we watched her show up day in and day out. And that was where success leaves clues. It was day in and day out. She was getting healthier and happier. She was running these 21-day challenges, and then she was doing these what is coaching things. And little by little, her descriptions of the coaches that she wanted on her team, the women that she wanted to partner with, I was like, man, this vision of that person that I know I could be fits that description. And it was just weird. I just kept on seeing it and seeing it and seeing it. And the classic thing, watch something 7 times and you'll finally say yes. That was me. And so finally, I remember I was classic university student, broke as a joke. And I saw Virginia had paid off her credit card. Beachbody does not guarantee any level of income. It's all up to her work, due diligence, and income disclaimer here. But I saw that she had paid off her credit card. And there was no way on earth that being a kinesiologist as a personal trainer, struggling with my job, that I would ever come close. I remember I tried to calculate it one day and it was going to take me 50 years to pay off my debt. And I was like, well, that sucks. I have a major shopping addiction and that's not going to work. So we need to figure this out. So Beachbody came into play, and same thing that Marie kind of touched on, and Cassidy too, is it's just you decided to draw that line in your line in the sand. And I honestly, for the first 2 years, like I kind of did the programs, but not really. And I anxious, suicidal, in the most toxic, horrific relationship ever, to being confident, loving my life to the absolute fullest, joyful, excited, in the most healthiest, happiest, incredible relationship that I just like pinch myself literally every night. I go to bed and I'm like, how is this like real life? Like, this is a thing. And it's so beautiful to see the compound effect and how much this business has changed every single aspect when you decide to show up for it.
I love that. So amazing. So it just my mic drop right there. So I'm going to do something a little bit unique because AMQ is getting called away to NLC leadership, tech rehearsal, and things like that. So she's going to give us a quick synopsis of how she got to Beachbody. And then I'm going to ask her 2 pivotal questions that I want to make sure are answered and that are on this recording before she hops off. So AMQ, take it away.
Friends, I'm Ramblesaurus Rex, so this is like a test to how quickly I could say things and how much I can say. But how did I get to Beachbody? Okay, so my coach, for any of you guys who don't know, is Kirsten, now Clark, was Crow, Full Heart Wellness on Instagram. And her and I, when I connected with her initially and met her initially, were quite alike. She was a bar star. I was a bar star. I'm a semi-retired bar star now. We were both very much still in that life. And she kept on trying to invite me to these wellness groups. And much like Britt, I was like, bitch, please, wellness. You're not well. Like, what do you mean? Inviting me to a wellness group? Were you joking? Give me a break. I was just like, honestly, so rude. I was like, give me a break. You're at a dive bar every Friday, just like me, girl. Don't even pretend. Like, I was the worst, okay? And like, she would every month, it's like she had me on a friggin', it was like A, B, C, D, E, F, G. It was like January 1st, message Amanda. And it was like nonstop, over a dozen messages, guys, over a dozen messages. And I wasn't the coach who left you on red. I was the girl who like was mean every time. Like, at least be grateful for the ones who leave you on red. I was mean. Finally, though, I messaged her and I was like, all right, girlfriend, whatever. You look happy. I'm miserable. I got to do it. I had gone to my cardiologist. My cardiologist was like, your heart is you're going to die. You're 26 years old. You're going to die. Like, if you don't take care of yourself. I wasn't 20. That's a lie. I was 29. And I was also straight, fully blown in bulimia for the second time. And I needed a community that would notice that I was bulimic. I was surrounding myself with people who were drinking and doing drugs. They didn't freaking notice I was bulimic. They didn't know they didn't know left from right, and I needed a community that saw that. So she believed in me, grateful. Obviously, still as sassy as I was then, if not more. And I hate saying this because people roll their eyes and they're like, I'm not trying to say that Beachbody is a cure-all, but just like Marie talked about, seeing, it helps. This community helps, these workouts help, these supplements help. And for me, I'm not bulimic, I'm not bulimic anymore. And say what you want about that, but it was a major game changer. And for me, I was showing up and sharing my journey because I'm like this all the time. Like, I'm going to the bathroom and I tell people. So it was very hard for me to be doing something and not tell everyone. And it was the same kind of thing as Cassidy was saying earlier. Like, the people around me were just like, what is happening? Just like I did to Kirst. And for me, I'm the most social person I know, surprising. And I got obsessed, like obsessed with the humans in this community. Like you could not pay me money to pull me away. When I was making $12 a week, I was like, I will make $12 a week for the rest of my life. These are my humans. Like these are the people I've been waiting 30 years for, you know? And that's why I'm still here. And that's how I run my business. I run my business not through fitness, not through nutrition, heck, not even really by pulling people into the coaching opportunity. I'm very community based. 1 minute. Okay. I'm very community based. So what's the other thing that I have to talk
No,
about?
I gotcha.
Yeah.
So again, I hope that really hits home for some people who could be struggling with an eating disorder, but to know that there's light at the end of the tunnel. I saw a couple of chats come in. So AMQ, as a first-time elite coach who started the year last year as an Emerald freaking coach, what? And ended as a 6-star diamond elite coach. What happened in 2020 that changed your perspective and leveled up your business?
It sounds so cliche and crazy to be doing this call right now and then running in 10 minutes to go do this NLC rehearsal, but literally NLC did it. NLC did it. Here's why. 4 years, go to NLC, new leader conference. I was not new, right? There were people there that had been coaches for 6 months and you could tell that they were green. Like you could tell they were new, you know, it's like their first event. And I was like, I don't deserve to be here. I'm looking around it as in like, I didn't feel like a leader that deserved to be even at the new leader conference. And I remember telling myself, I literally just reposted this in my stories today because I was like, I'm going to go back to this. And I told myself I was going to be in the present moment at NLC. I am not, and I'm never in the present moment. And I didn't take a bunch of photos. I look back, I can't even post many. I didn't take much because I got there and was like, this is it. This is going to be my rocket launch. I'm going to learn, and whatever I resonate with, I'm going to bring to my coaches. And I remember saying to myself, I wrote it in my journal. I read it yesterday on a live, but I'm going to speak at NLC next year and I'm going to talk about what got me here. You know what got me there, here, whatever? Communication. Okay. I came home and I was like, okay, guys, like, this is what we need to do. I need you to do this. I was like delegation queen. I was like, you need to do this. And my team was like, okay. And I was blessed. They were like, that's all we wanted. We've been waiting 4 years for this. We just wanted you to tell us what to do. And we're doing it. And like, now I'm like, they're like, stop telling me what to do. Monster, you made them. But that's what got me. That's what got me to elite. It was like constant communication with my team, constantly offering them a space, constantly being like, let's do, you know, a social event. Let's do all this kind of stuff. Just always giving them that space to connect and to communicate with me, obviously.
I love that. I love that. And it's so big picture that you are speaking at NLP.
Are you blocked? Are you paused? Looks like she is. Use voice notes and video messages, like really aggressively excited, like 6 a.m. excited. Because I wake up and I'm like 2 feet, heartbeat. I'm happy to be alive. Like, let's go. Everyone else should be too. And if we're not spreading that to our team and to our followers, then we need to do it. Okay, I gotta go. I love you guys. I wish I could be here for the whole thing.
Bye. We appreciate you. We love you. Guys, I don't know what's going on with my internet, but I got my phone as my backup because I'm over it. Over it. This is what happens when you live in a mountain. Clearly why Virginia is ditching me for another mountain. Just a different side note. Jen lives like 5 minutes away from me, and now she's moving to like 20 minutes away from me on a different mountain. So that was why I was saying that. So a little bit about me. Again, I have my phone as a backup. If I start glitching, just drop in the chat that we can't hear you. But most of you guys know me, know my story. However, I can wrap my story up in a quick 10-second sentence. I was a depressed, overweight, broken woman who was actually in a domestically violent situation. Jen has been able to witness multiple events when I'm driving 20 minutes up the road to her house, crying my eyes out, where Jimmy Scroggins is telling me to beat this man with a frying pan. And I'm sitting there like, I just need to do my test. Like, it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. And the woman that I was then I'm not the woman I am today. And I'm proud to say that. But guys, the person who invited me to Beachbody truly asked and asked and asked, and she knew better. I was a collegiate athlete. I knew what it meant to work out. And she had the dumbest idea to ask me to coach. And I'm sitting there like, I'm sorry, what? Like, you know that I work out, like, I'm good. I don't need your little whatever. And I don't even fit your mold. I'm not blonde. I'm not blue-eyed. This ain't working. Like, this ain't for me. And she continued to be persistent, continued to ask. And guys, I'll never forget. I was sitting in a closet holding my ex-husband's gun in my hand with every intention of taking my life. And this is back when, in 2015, when notifications still lived on my phone, and a notification from my personally sponsored coach popped up, and it just said, hey, I believe in you. Hey, I really think you should do this. And in that moment, I bawled my eyes out, put the gun down, and I decided to take that second chance that was given to me. And I've never looked back. Like Marie talked about, like many of us talked about, because we have been around on the block for a while. This was back when DVDs needed 7 days to get to your door. It's not like you guys where you're like, oh, I get virtual access in 6 hours on Beachbody On Demand. Like, no, I had to wait 7 days. I had never had a taste of Shakeology, didn't even know what it was. I've never done, the only one that I remember was people talking about Insanity and P90X3. All of which I was not about to do. So I knew nothing about Beachbody, but I was super excited. And if those of you who have been around, you remember when I first started and I got connected with Virginia, we would have like table pictures of like food. We would meal plan for like damn near a village, and we would post about it. And I wasn't talking about anything other than the fact that I was excited and I was grateful and I was happy, but really, truly, I was excited, grateful, and happy to be out of that marriage, because this gave me the opportunity to leave. I was excited and happy to be a brand new person that believed in herself again. And because of that, I'm here today, 5 going on 6 years later. And I have 2 beautiful girls. I am in love with my beautiful fiance. She is a huge part in this business, a huge part in my life. And I'm just grateful. And I'm grateful for where we are and what's gone on in our life. So that is a little bit about me. I wanted to hit over to Cassidy and say, you know, what happened? Again, elite coach, what happened in 2020 that changed your perspective and leveled up your business?
Yeah, well, I think for me, especially this last year was such a rebuilding year and growth year for me. And again, it kind of goes hand in hand with my word, which was also resilience, because the year before, prior to that, I missed literally every single goal I had set in the business. I had been elite my first year and then missed elite, missed premier. Like, we didn't hit any of the goals I had in that year of 2019. And then 2020, it would have been really easy for me to just sit there and be like, wow, that was such a failure. And I had a moment there where at the beginning of the year, I was like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, I don't know if this is for me anymore. I don't know if I'm supposed to be doing this, because things, you know, are just really hard right now. And I like had to get out of my own way and just find my joy again. And I really think like that's when things changed this last year, because I stopped worrying about the past and realized that the only thing that mattered was the future and what I was doing right now. And that my past did not define my future, and the things that God had planned for me and the dreams that were in my heart, I needed to go after them regardless. And they were already there. They were already going to happen. So I didn't need to stress about how. I just needed to show up and do the things, and it would happen. And so I let go of all of that negativity that I was holding on to from the past year and all the failures I had, and realized that the only thing that mattered was what I showed up and did today and tomorrow and the next day. And I just like started all over. And just having that resiliency and not quitting and giving up when it got hard or when I failed was the biggest thing, because I finally found my people and I started to see the success again, and diamonds started popping, and I was like, okay, we can do this thing. And, just rebuilt that confidence in myself, which I think is something you have to kind of do every year in this business.
I love that. And to that point, Cassidy, tell us, what was one thing that helped you see the belief, that helped you fuel that belief even when you were feeling down?
Honestly, I think the biggest thing was leaning into this community and this team and just myself, because our number one job, which is exactly why I saw success from the beginning, like I shared in my story, I had no idea what I was doing, but I was pouring so much into myself that it was just overflowing to every single person that I came in contact with. And that was the thing that I went back to. I got in the morning meltdown test group at like the lowest point in my life. I was going through, I ended up leaving my fiance 3 months before our wedding because I was like, this is not right. That was the hardest decision I made in my entire life. And I definitely would not have been able to make that decision had I not been pouring so into my own self growth and getting to a point where I was confident in myself, knew what I deserved. And that was all because of this, because I was showing up every single day and doing the hard things. I was showing up every single day for my workouts, giving it 110%. I was fueling my body with nutrition. I was reading personal development, and I was pouring and leaning into this community instead of pulling away when things got hard. And even though my business wasn't reflecting it at that time, that work that I was putting into myself, my business directly reflected from that whole next year. And so it helped give me the strength to make that really hard decision, leave that relationship that I was not happy in, and let go of those things that were kind of weighing me down. So I really do think like the biggest thing, that belief in your business is going to come from the belief in yourself, which you get from showing up every single day and pouring into yourself and becoming the best version of you. Like I always say, focus on yourself and the rest will fall into place. And it's so true, because the minute that your journey starts to go away, you stop doing personal development, you stop giving it your all in your workouts or whatever it is, guess what happens to your business? It literally, like, it's so connected. Like right now, my business is awesome. And this week, even, I started to feel myself going in that place. I was like, all right, I'm not really having fun. What do I need to do? I need to find the joy again. And I just randomly decided to run this booty boot camp. And in 2 days, I've signed up 6 people from like these random Instagram stories I just made last night because I'm excited. So everybody else is excited. So it's the same thing. Like you have to find the joy and you have to keep focusing on bettering yourself every day. And that's going to build the belief in your business.
I love that. And I'm rapid firing Cassidy because she has to go. But Cassidy, I know you said that the word resilience is kind of the word that you would define in the last year, but what is your best piece of advice to somebody listening on this call that wants to be 5-star, that wants to be elite, that wants to take it to the next level, but maybe life is getting in the way?
Honestly, I think the biggest thing, especially since I went from Emerald to Elite in my first year, and I honestly had no idea what Emerald even, or what Elite even was. Like I didn't really understand the points that went into it, all those things, which I think, yes, it's important to know that stuff if you're going for it. But honestly, like the years I've hit Elite hasn't been because I'm trying to hit Elite and because I'm like focusing so much on all these numbers and stuff. It's because I've been focusing on myself and the things that matter. How am I impacting people? Am I going out every day and building those new relationships, those connections? Am I doing everything possible in my control? I think the biggest thing that helped me get there was to let go the control of how it was going to happen. I just had to find that belief and confidence in myself to know that this is happening. And once I made that decision, like so deep down where there was no other option, I didn't have to stress about how it was going to happen. I just knew in my head, if I show up and I put in the work that's going to get me there every single day, and I look back and there's not an ounce more that I could have given, that's what success is going to be to me, regardless of what the outcome is at the end. If I hit 5-star, if I hit Elite, if I hit whatever, if I know I showed up every single day and gave it all I could, then, you know, that's success to me. And the things are going to happen along the way.
I love that. I love that. And don't let her say like, oh, I didn't pay attention to the points. The girl knows what she's talking about. There's been plenty of times, especially last year, I was like, Cassidy, I don't know how this is going to happen. And she'd be like, hey, look at your body renewals. Look at this, look at that, convert this, convert that. Like the girl knows what she's talking about. But the reason why elite happens so naturally, I would like to use is the word, not to discourage, but to empower, is because she really did level up herself. She really did focus on herself. And for that, Cassidy, I appreciate you so much. Miss Britt, I'm coming to you. What happened in 2020 that changed your perspective and leveled up your business? And you have a unique answer because girl, the start of 2020 was, I wouldn't say not your friend, but it was not your friend. And there was a lot of rebuilding after you were an elite 2020 coach, but tell us how you got to being elite 2021 coach.
Oh, that makes me giggle. So side note, backstory, short and sweet, you guys, the team that got us to 2020 elite come January, February, all quit, except for like one coach. And it was a complete gut to who I was as a person. The leadership, I completely questioned. I questioned the business. I then laid in my bed from February 2nd to February 26th with an unknown sickness that doctors had not seen yet. And crazy how that happened. And then I kind of started coming back alive in March, and then March 13th happened, and we all know what happened then. So I remember I called my coach, Virginia, in April, and I was crying because I was questioning absolutely everything. I was lost because 2020, I was the coach. I was the single Beachbody coach who was traveling the world and like was living this dream of freedom. And now I was stuck in my home all by myself. It was me and my St. Bernard in my condo for 4 months without touching another human being, without a hug, without seeing somebody face to face. Every single person I interacted with was between a screen. And the only conversations I had was with my dog. And it was the biggest and most hardest like thing I've ever had to overcome. But it was the biggest gut check of figuring out, who on earth are you? And I had to look in the mirror and figure that out. And that's when I, as a blessing, was asked to be in the MBF and MBFA test group. And I went into that test group with the mindset of, you're going to raise a standard for yourself. And like I said earlier, with 80-day obsession, like that's when I decided to draw my line in the sand. But MBF, I decided that I was going to not only set a new standard, but I was going to raise the floor. And what I mean by that is, I no longer was going to set this new standard. And for you guys, it might be like, oh, I'm going to hit Success Club 20, or you come out the first of the month every month saying you're hitting Success Club 40 or 50, or you're being a diamond coach this month. But you still allow yourself to go days without hitting your success tracker. And what that raising the floor means is, no matter what, you are checking off those boxes. No matter what, there is a new standard for yourself that is your non-negotiables, no matter what. And you have to raise that to level up. So it was the craziest time. And guys, we weren't even on the top 100 list for the first quarter in Canada. We weren't even remotely close on Beachbody Corporate's elite radar. Jake kind of had a nice conversation and said, okay, when hopefully we can chat about elite later, but he honestly just was kind of sending me off that wasn't going to happen this year. So it was the resilience of, okay, how are you going to rebuild? But more importantly, what does this business mean to you? And are you going to do it? Because in April, I honestly looked at this and thought, what's going to happen? And that's when I decided, no, we're going all in. And that's when we rebuilt and became a 2-time elite team with a pile of hard work, which I will say, just slide that in.
Man, guys, if that does not inspire you, every time I think about the hard, anytime I think about rebuilding or whatever. I think about Brit and I tell myself what I said to lots of amazing humans yesterday on my podcast: suck it up. Because if she can do it, I can do it. If she can do it, we can do it. So I love that. Miss Marie, same question. What happened in 2020 to change your perspective and help you level up in your business?
Okay, so my experience is different. So I love that we all have such different experiences with this. 2020 was the first January, probably, in my adult life, that I didn't really set any goals for myself. And that's not to be mistaken with like loss of ambition or loss of consistency. I show up and I do my thing, but I really, for the first time, was hyper focused on just being so at peace with who I am and where I'm at in the present moment. And I realized something about myself, that my old habits, of looking 7 steps ahead of myself were no longer serving me. And so I really got hyper focused on being where I'm at, enjoying the shit out of the process, and just being okay regardless of accolade or achievement and outcome. Because, I did all the things, I did all the checklist things. I hit elite, I hit premier, I hit 5-star, I hit 7-star, I spoke on the national wake up call. Like I got a list of epic, wonderful opportunities that I've been granted because of Beachbody in the accolade section. And I found myself hitting these massive goals. And then as soon as I would hit the massive goal, I would go, okay, what's next? And I wouldn't celebrate myself. And to me, that's a disease. That's not okay. And so I really had to check my gut. I had to go, man, like what is it going to take for me to really enjoy this, so that when these big things happen, as they do naturally, organically throughout the year, they happen, right? I hit lots of beautiful goals in 2020, massive goals in 2020, in fact. But they all unfolded naturally and organically. And I can totally confidently and honestly tell you guys that I enjoyed the shit out of every single day. 2020 was the best year of my life. Dare I be so bold to say that 2020 during a pandemic was the best year of my life. It was also the year that I went sober completely. I felt all of my feelings all year. I really dove into, like Brittany was talking about, who am I? What's important to me? And at the end of the day for 2020, the biggest shift that I had was I now focus on what feels good and nothing else matters to me. If it doesn't feel good, I don't do it. I check my gut. I listen to intuition. I work from my gut. I work from intuition. That's it, period. If there's 4 days in a row where I don't feel like showing up on social media, I don't. So what feels good? And I go after that. That was probably the biggest shift for me, 2020.
Man, guys, you just heard two polar opposite stories of that. And that is just amazing. And that's why I call Marie yin yang. You know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those things where she had, and like, again, not to play it down because she's so humble, but hit massive goals personally. Like her and her fiance even like bought an RV, renovated the whole thing, and then was like, hey, we're selling it because we're going to go on to our new adventure. But this is somebody who was a retired teacher earning 6 figures in this business, who is humbly saying, I needed to gut check myself because it was a disease, constantly trying to go after one after the other without taking time for myself. So I love that, Marie. I wanted to share my thing that changed my perspective that happened in 2020. So guys, I really truly started the year as a paid 1-star diamond coach. And again, as Marie pointed out, our timeline of the wonderful 2020 year, it was March 13th that the pandemic hit, but it was March 4th that I lost my job. And as a Doc MP, losing her job in a pediatrician's office where I had a huge clientele. I still have a huge clientele. I still have clients that come and reach out to me all the time. I was in a hugely toxic work environment and I said, you know what, no more. So I resigned back in February, and the office manager took it upon herself to be like, hey, you gave me a 90-day notice, but I'm cutting it short. And I remember her pretty much saying, like, this is your chance to figure it out, sink or swim. You have your daughter, either you make it or you don't. And I remember sitting in the car after I was fired and I just cried. I cried my eyes out because I was like, I'm going to lose my house. I'm going to lose my cars. I'm going to lose my kid. I don't know what to do. And then I gathered my composure within there. And I realized that I had something in my disposal. So you know what I did? In the same parking lot that I got fired, right where my office was, I picked up my phone. I sent out 100 invites because I do the damn thing. That's just Mariah, #GetShitDone. And I'm an Enneagram 8, if that helps. I sent out 100 invites because I knew the one thing on my business activity tracker that was going to produce income in that moment when I had 6 figures ripped from my family was invites. And then I sent out my resume and called every office in the surrounding area. And I had 3 interviews set up for the next week. And then it was March 13th. Thank you, Britt, for reminding me the date. And they said, hey, so you have the job, but we can't hire you yet. So let's talk about May. And then it was June. And then it was July. And then it was like, hey, we don't have a spot for you at all. Why? Because a global pandemic. And you would think that a healthcare professional would need to be in a working capacity during a global pandemic, but that wasn't the case. So I sat there and I looked at an assignment in New York. Bianca wasn't even a year old. I was going to take a 6-week assignment in the core of the pandemic where half nurses would go in and half the nurses would never return home. And I sat down with Lee and I said, if I go, I might not come back. If I go, you're going to be a single mom to 2. It's either that or I just buckle down. And for the next however many months it takes, I just get shit done. And that was that pivotal moment. So yes, in Mariah fashion, invites are my jam. I am not afraid of invites. Invite is what I do. I just make it happen. I send out 1,000 invites a day if I could, like if I could keep my eyes open, because an invite is what saved my life. And an invite is what saved my house. An invite is what saved my family. An invite is what helped me not only match my DocMP salary, but surpass it. And I proudly say that I brought in 6 figures into my home last year with Beachbody alone. Income disclaimer, insert whatever, blah, blah, blah you want to say. You know, that was the pivotal moment for me. It was you can either do this or you can do this. You can either do the business that saved your life and that has given you friendships and that has saved your life on more accounts than one, or you can just go to New York, pray for the best, hope N95s work, or that you have PPE at that time. Either one is an option. Either one is hard. And guys, I want you to understand life is hard. You just have to decide which hard you're willing to do. So I hope that in all of that, my word of the year was unshakable. I picked that word in January. I had no effing idea how much I was going to have to be unshakable in 2020. It was unreal because as a Black woman on this call with you, we also understand what happened last year. We also understood that even though a lot of people thought that this was a new thing, it's not. I've been Black for 28 years of my life. It has not changed. Hello. And I had to sit there and speak up to that. And my passion in this business is bringing incredible people, because I want you to understand that what's different on this call than any other call is there are more races than one. And that's all that I fucking care about. That's it for me. So Miss Marie, really quick, so we don't run over too much. What was the one thing that happened to help you fuel the belief in yourself and in your business? And what's a piece of advice that you would give to someone on the mission to elite or 5-star or just leveling up in growth?
Can you ask it one more time?
Yeah. So what is one thing that happened in your business in life to help you stay consistent? And with that, what's the best advice you have moving forward for coaches who want to achieve the same thing?
I used to get so caught up in my worth as a coach, you know, being determined by my rank and by the accolades that I was achieving. And then when you flux from 7-star to 1-star, you get punched in the gut a little bit, you know, And when you go from elite coach one year to premier coach the next year, I mean, you could argue and say that one's better than the other, but I think they're both beautiful in their own regard. I had to, number one, let go of the attachment I had to my worth as a leader and my worth as a coach, you know, being reliant on my rank or my points or any of those metrics. And then I really had to step into personal ownership. And I think that that is the number one thing that, like, I'm a master of me. I'm a master of myself, and I take full responsibility for everything in my life, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the awesome. And I do not blame or excuse myself in any season. And I think that that's been probably the best thing that I've been able to cultivate for myself. And the best piece of advice I could give you is whatever season you're in right now, please know that you created it for yourself. And there's so much opportunity for growth, and it's all for you. And I think that for me was really powerful to understand. Like, it's all for you. It's never not for you. And if you look back, like, a really good activity is, you know, in hindsight, you can look back over the past couple of years and everything, like, you can kind of connect the dots and you understand that you're here right now on this call alive. So clearly you've made it and everything has worked out 100% of the time. But oftentimes when we're looking forward and we're setting these big goals for ourselves, it's kind of like being on the highway with your windshield wipers on and it's snowing, right? And you can only see like 100 feet ahead. You can't really see past that. So you just have to trust that the highway's still there. But if you look back, you can go, you know what? My track record is 100%. So looking forward, my track record is going to be 100% because if everything is for me, which it is, and if anything is possible, which it is, I can do whatever the hell I want with my life. And so then that's how I approach my goals now. Anything is possible. Everything is for me. I don't remember what the question was, but I really hope that helped and answered it. I told you I'm a little sick, so hopefully that was helpful.
Oh, Marie, gosh, it reminds me of the hour and a half conversation we had the other day where everything is for you and everything's worked out 100% of the time. And I love that. It's beautiful. Miss Britt, what was one thing that happened to help renew your belief after you got knocked down? And what is the one piece of advice you would give to anyone listening to this call who wants to do the same thing?
This is like one of the craziest questions, like thinking of kind of those like pivotal moments in the year. And I think when you get knocked down, when it is a rank goal, like Marie said, when it is an income goal, when you miss something that you're shooting for, when you have those moments when you look in the mirror and you're like, who the hell am I? And when you can check off those boxes and you pick up those books and you have that resiliency that even though you are lost AF in this moment in time, but you still believe in that light ahead of you, you believe that there's something in this future that's for you, so you show up for that future self, that's when you start to create that bigger belief for yourself. And I think that's my biggest piece of advice. And it's always kind of been the thing that I say for every freaking call I've ever been on is people ask me to speak on calls and they're like, what do you speak on? And I'm like, girl, believe in yourself. And I think what I want you guys to take two things away is coaching is the vehicle to get you anywhere in this life. And that was from my great grandma, Lindsay Matway. And she always said, she's like, whatever your goal, whatever your vision is for your life. And to piggyback on Maria's, coaching isn't life. Coaching is the vehicle to get you to the life that you want to live. And when you get flustered in Team Cup next month, when you are freaking putting your head against a wall because everybody and their dog is saying no to you and you can't figure it out, I want you to keep on showing up for that future self you're going to be 6 months from now. Because even if you're not on that elite board, even if your corporate mentors have kind of looked at you and just been like, girl, like, we'll maybe see you next year. And you put your head down and you keep showing up because you believe in your future self, no one will stand in your way. So anytime that you have that unwavering, like anytime you have that wavering faith in yourself and you don't really believe in yourself today, or things are hard, and you can't really believe in yourself today, I just want you to know that I believe in you. And anytime you need to borrow it, like come to my page and just like think like, shit, that girl believes in me. If she believes in me, I can believe in myself. And there's people on your team, whether you have one coach under you, whether you have 250 coaches under you, or you're Moira Kusaba, the top coach. You believe so much in that one person that's underneath you. Believe 10 times more in yourself. And that's what I want you to take this year, is just believe in your future self and have that faith in who you are and who you're becoming, and show the F up.
I love it. And then to wrap the call, I'm going to end it as Britt has given you some fuel and some love and your heart's fluttering and you feel good. Mariah's about to come and punch you in the gut. That's how we do this. We are a 1-2 punch. That's what makes us dynamic. That's what makes us all work and flow. Listen, I would say that there was so many things against me, but all of us in 2020. So what's one thing that fueled my soul and my belief was me. And knowing that my bigger why, to see more incredible humans, not women, humans of all races, all genders, all ethnicities, all backgrounds, to be on a screen, to be fueled. That was my passion. That was my purpose. So attach yourself to something deeper and just suck it up and do it. Life is meant to be hard. Life is going to be tough. But like Marie said, you are successful 100% of the time. You will be okay. You will make it through. And I believe in you. And the one piece of advice that I could give you that kind of wraps everything that everyone said was, remember that you're wanted, that you're needed, that you're loved, worthy, and you're more than enough. And put your fucking blinders on and just get to work. There is a reason why the business activity tracker was made. There is a reason why it sections self-care. Okay? Self-care, take care of yourself, and then get to work and help other people. Get to work and help other people means send invites. You can't be afraid of invites. Drives me crazy. Just do the work. The one piece of advice that I could give you right now is to put your blinders on, get laser focused into what Marie said and who you are. Dive deep into the belief in yourself and in this business, because you already have it. My girl T said that to me the other day. You already have it in you. You just needed to be aware that it was already in you and just go make it happen. I respect all of you for being on. I know we went over time. These leaders, these women, these humans that I have connected with are my heart. And I hope that we all were able to convey our heart to you and be able to share with you what it means to go from a 1-star to a 5-star, 7-star elite premier coach, but really what it takes to be longevity in this business. All of us have been coaches for 4 or more years. Give yourself the time to blossom. What would you look like? What would your business look like 5 years from now? Continue to show up and implement all of these nuggets. So I love you guys with all of my heart. I would love to get all of your questions and everything answered. But again, I respect your guys' time. So I will post all of these videos in the respective areas, and please drop questions below. The ladies will be looking in the chat and answering. But I love you guys with all my heart. And I hope you have a great rest of your evening, and journal a little bit about what you learned today, how you can implement it, and wake up refreshed tomorrow for a 4 a.m. power hour, if any of you would like to join me, and get to work. I love you guys with all my heart. Good night.